Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, we're going to dive into today to tell some stories about a time that I had a $40,000 loss and how I turned it into a gain. Yep, you heard that right. So how I took this and funded one of my first businesses for the first time on a mistake. We're going to dive into some experiences that I've had here as a business owner and how you can take your opportunities that sometimes look like lemons and turn them into lemonade. Let's dive in. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thompson. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. With over a decade as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, so I get it. Sometimes life hands us some tough luck, right? How do we take that tough luck and make it into something great? That's what we're going to dive into today, because this is something that no matter whether you're a developer, whether you're an entrepreneur, this is something that everybody needs to hear, because I want to give you some experiences that we've had on how we can take things that are hard and make them better. Let's jump into this. All right, now you guys know me from my time here at Startup Hack, but there could never have been a Startup Hack without there being a Clean Router. So in 2009, I started a company by the name of Clean Router. I started this because I had an idea for a product. I built a quick MVP, which I'm going to talk about in my next video, and then how we started to scale it. And as we worked to try to scale it, we ran into problems, as you always do with every business. You always run into problems. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a developer, you're always going to run into problems. And so that's why I want to talk about this today, because this is how we took a $40,000 loss and turned it into a success. Turned failure into success. Now, if you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, because I like to bring you a lot of great content. We bring you programming videos, we bring you entrepreneurial, we bring you motivation, and we also just talk about the life of tech right now too. So we dig into a lot of different things. So first of all, if you haven't followed the channel, you definitely need to go back and check out some of the previous videos. But earlier I talked about how myself and my co-founder had an idea to make the first content filtering router for parents to be able to filter the internet for their kids. So this is that we wanted to be able to install one device that would filter the internet back when the internet was the Wild West for kids. Now this company is still around. It's called cleanrouter.com. And if you don't have filtering for your kids, go grab one of these, because they're fantastic. We've sold a ton of these throughout the years. Company's been around for over 15 years. But this is what funded and what started my business as an entrepreneur. Before that, I was just a software developer. Now, so this is when the idea was born, was in 2009. So we'd started to build out the prototype. We'd built out the prototype, which I've talked about in some of my previous videos, so go check them out. And then from there, we decided we needed to start to scale, right? So it was 2009, we were in the first year, and we decided to scale. So one of the very first things is we had an idea, but we didn't have the right board. And this wasn't the way it was today, where there was tons of different routers that ran Linux, right? So we spent a lot of time pouring through the internet, talking with Chinese manufacturers, night after night, try to hunt for the perfect board that was ideal for us to build this content filtering router on. See, there was a distro that was brand new at the time called OpenWRT, which now is very modern and supported, but there was very, very, very few boards, like less than 50 that were supporting OpenWRT at the time. So we did a lot of hunting. We finally found a board and a manufacturer. His name was Pascal, and he was based out of Switzerland, and the board was called an ALEX. So we bought a couple of them. We started to build onto it, and we said, wow, this is really working. So the ALEX board wasn't perfect, because the first problem we had with it was it only had 2 ports at the time. Now, they've made some other models since then, but it only had 2 ports. So we figured, well, I guess people who are going to use this product are going to have a network switch. Wireless wasn't that popular back then. We could add some wireless onto the boards here, and we were definitely planning to, but a lot of things were still hardwired, and people still had a lot of hardwired stuff. So I scheduled time to talk with Pascal. I got up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. I called him on Skype. I remember Skype. He spoke good English, and it was easy. So we set up how we were going to do this, and we made our first purchase of these boards, and we purchased these boards in bulk. And that's brought us where we bought 500 of these boards at $80 a piece, with a couple of antennas and everything, for $40,000. So I wired this guy $40,000, right? Now, this guy's totally solid. He shipped them, and we got boxes and boxes of these routers. So we have all these router boards, right? And so where are we going to keep the stock? Well, of course, in the guest room, right? And here's my daughter at the time, who's now, like 20, and 19 technically, sorry, I rounded to 20, singing on these, but you can see the boxes and boxes of inventory that we had here that we'd gotten from them. And we even stored these in my office. We stored these in the living room. These were all over my house. That was how it goes, right? So we were all ready to go. We had the product. We had some cases for them. We were ready to go. We were going to slap some Clean Router stickers on them. We'd built out a bunch of the firmware, and we were ready to ship. And then we hit a big stop, because right then was released a new board called the Router Station Pro. Now, this was the perfect board. It was built for OpenWRT. The board was literally built with a chipset and everything that was built for OpenWRT. Everything worked really well. There was 4 ports, which was way better for residential, and everything about this board was exactly what we need. Now, it was more expensive, but I was able to work out a deal with the manufacturer to get cheap pricing at a smaller order size. But now I had this $40,000 worth of boards stacked all over my house, right? So, and as we researched, there was this, and we weren't really sure what to do with these boards, right? Because now we had spent $40,000, but the right decision was to use these newer boards, the Router Station Pro, right? So the right decision was to use this board, because clearly it was the right board for what we needed for building these content filtering routers. But do we just ship what we have and make customers suffer, and possibly, because we'd made this decision? What we did was we searched around on the internet, and we found that there was actually a pretty big cult following of these boards of people who would flash them using pfSense and other Linux distributions, right? And we got a really good deal on these boards. So the core of these people who use these boards, well, I got at almost 50% of the cost for what most people were paying for these boards. So what did we do? We actually doubled down, and we spent another $2,000 to $3,000 on various components to build out a high-end router kit. So this is what we'd put together. We'd put together 2 pigtails, 2 antennas, a wireless card, a power supply, a 1 gig card, and this board. And we put it all together, and we started to sell these. And we actually started just a very simple eBay store selling a version of a kit of these. And nobody was really selling these, and especially not at the cost that we were. And we undercut all of the other resellers of these, because we had gotten them new, but we'd gotten this big bulk order. And so we were able to get these at a fraction of the cost. So we were way under. Well, let me just fast forward and tell you here. Over the next 18 months, this eBay store sold over $120,000 worth of these router kits. We spent $40,000 and put in another $5,000 over the coming months to buy the other parts, and made over $120,000. This kept Clean Router alive for the first 18 months. This $40,000 failure was actually ended up being one of the smartest business decisions, and the $80,000 of net profit that we made over this kept the business alive over the coming months. So this is how we turn this $40,000 from a loss into a success. You can do it too. You can find a way to take your failure and turn it into a success. Now, another funny thing about these is these boards use a compact flash card. And we knew we were going to need to get some of these machines to set them up. And they had these machines at the time where you could put them in, and it would clone the card over and over again. But we couldn't find anything out there under $2,000. So we actually found this one on eBay, and we started bid on it. I actually found the original emails from the bid. This was almost 15 years ago, so I was really proud that Gmail works really well. Well, the problem was we kept bidding, and I was bidding on this, and somebody kept bidding me up. And originally I was going to get the bid for like $102, and I thought, wow, this is going to be great. And we bid it up, and I finally at 351, I won the thing. Well, then I called my business partner at the time, and he calls me back, and I talked to him, and he says, man, I almost got one of those duplicators, but somebody kept bidding against me. And it turns out that my business partner was his house bidding against me, bidding this thing up. So simple lesson, communicate with your business partners. Now, I want you to think about what you can do today to take something that you thought was a failure up until now and make it a success. And maybe it is that you just learn a lesson from it and chalk it up to that, and then you move past that. But what can you do to take a failure from before and turn into one of these successes? So now make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, because here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. And I think you can find something in your business today that can make you even better. And maybe one of those failures is somebody who's struggling in their job but knows everything about your business but wants to become a software developer. We can put them through and get them trained at no cost to you or your company. So reach out to us at startuphack.com/Spencer, because we'd love to help. And here's some great information.
Want to become a software developer but don't want to spend 4 years in college and rack up massive student loan debts? Think you need technical expertise to get started? Welcome to Startup Hack, a better way to start your software career without student loans and years without income. One-on-one tutoring is included, so you never get stuck and have have guidance through the whole process. No technical experience is necessary. Learn at your own pace and in your own space. Starter Pack has worked with local state agencies in your area to make it so that qualifying students can get the program costs covered entirely and students can start earning while they learn.
Starter Pack's .NET Coding Bootcamp was a game changer for my career. As someone with no prior programming experience, I was initially intimidated by the idea of learning to code, but the instructors at Starter Pack broke down complex concepts into easy to understand lessons and provided hands-on projects that really cemented my understanding. The curriculum was comprehensive and up to date and got me ready for my first job. What really set Starter Pack apart was the focus on practical, real-world skills. Thanks to Starter Pack, I landed my dream job as a .NET developer within weeks of graduating. I went from knowing nothing about code to building professional-grade web applications in just a few intense months. If you're looking to break into .NET development or level up your coding skills, I cannot recommend Starter Pack enough.
Complete our 3-month coding bootcamp, gain hands-on experience, and land a paid internship. With 2 years of experience, on average, our graduates are making over $80,000 per year. The 3-month program includes technologies from Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. No debt, just a quick path to earning. Check out starterpack.com to code your